All right, part one about why I do not support the Republican and Democratic Party in this country anymore. Part one is that the Democrats used to, back in the 80s and 90s, support things like Playboy, used to support things like freedom of speech and freedom of expression. It used to be about freedom. Now it's about less freedom in the Democratic Party. Now they basically want to create a big brother state. And basically they want to censor people for having the wrong opinions. Well, that's not my Democratic Party. My Democratic Party was a Democratic Party that supported women's right to choose. People, they also used to support, a woman's sexuality. Basically porn. They used to celebrate that. A woman's freedom to choose, how many sexual partners that she wanted. You know what I mean? Also, they supported, what was it? They used to support, what was it? They used to support, a long time ago, they actually used to support gun rights. But now they're for gun control, which I'm not for that. Let's see. They said, they were gonna, lock, they said, they were not going to lock people up for weed, for having, for recreational use. Now they went back on their promises, which is like, of course, and it's sad how, we see their true colors, and when it came to like things like now, I'm going to tell you why I don't like the Republican Party. I don't like the Republican Party because they're anti-LGBTQ. That's one. Because at the end of the day, just because you don't like somebody in their sexuality, does not give you the right to essentially discriminate against them, or say they can't get married, or say that, they're not essentially not human, and you basically want to gun them down in the streets. You don't get to do that. Just because they have a different sexual proclivity doesn't mean you get to gun them down in the streets or discriminate against them. Same thing. Let's say a man wants to transition into a woman. Well, he has every right to. But I understand, let's say with prisons and stuff, why people wouldn't like that, putting men, biological men, that transition a woman into a female prison. Yeah, that makes sense. But on the other hand, I don't understand why we don't have just transgender prisons. We have let's say prisons for men. We have prisons for biological men and biological women. Why don't we have prisons for, trans men, if we want to do that, and trans females as well? We have to just put them all in the same prison, or make a couple of different prisons, if people so choose. Now, when people are like, well, that causes more construction. So what? If the people don't want them in male prisons or female prisons, we might as well just put them in their own prisons. Makes sense. And also, like I said, I think that's weird about the trans thing, but at the same time, I'm not saying people don't have the right to do it, because people do have the right to do it if they want to. They're 18, especially if they're over the age of 18. What am I going to say? Also, I don't like, historically, if you want to go back to the Republican Party, I don't like how, people in the Republican and Democratic Party are basically, essentially, becoming more anti, interracial marriage. Okay, you might not like interracial marriage, but at the same time, it's none of your damn business. If a black man wants to marry a white woman, that's none of your business. If a black woman wants to marry a white man, that's none of your business. If a Latino man wants to marry, I don't know, an Asian, that's none of your business. Okay? I don't care how you feel about it, that's still none of your business. Okay? And both parties, I don't know why, do not support freedom of privacy anymore, which they used to, which is crazy. They don't support that anymore. And both of them support this Big Brother state where people are basically being tracked of every second of every day, which is crazy to me. That should not be happening. And people should be fighting against that, in my opinion. Because they say we want to fight against this George Orwell type of state. Are you? Really? Because I don't see that. I see more invasion of privacy nowadays than it was back in like the 1990s and early 2000s. So, obviously, both Democrats and Republicans are working hand in hand to take our freedom of privacy away. And who knows what else they're trying to take away. That's not good. And we, as the American people, need to recognize that Democrats and Republicans are working hand in hand to take away our freedom. And the biggest freedom, I think, is freedom of speech and freedom of privacy. And the right to defend yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not the government's business what you do in your own personal spare time. It's nobody's business. It's not the company. It's not the company that you work for's business. It's nobody's business. Also, I think, me personally, when it comes to like paparazzi and stuff, I believe sort of paparazzi can be there, but I believe if even the paparazzi, let's say, invades somebody's privacy, they just want to, let's just say somebody wants a celebrity wants to sit down and have a beer or whatever to themselves, and the paparazzi just comes to their house and takes pictures. I think the celebrity has the right to sue them because it was out there because it was not their permission, because they didn't have permission to take that picture. It was not their permission to take that picture. And I believe, in my personal opinion, you should not be able to invade someone's privacy like that, whether they're famous or not. And I think, those people should be suable. In my opinion. And I might mean suable, I mean like sue them for into the Stone Age. Like their business is gone. Because that's how strongly I feel about this. It's the same thing with people say your phone's listening to you in your private conversations. They shouldn't be doing that. Phone companies and stuff should not be listening to your private conversations because it's your private conversations. And I think, we should hold phone companies reliable with that as well. Even though I'm having a private conversation, you should not be listening to my private conversation. It's called a private conversation for a reason. Stop being nosy. Stop getting into people's business that does not pertain to you. And I think that's also an invasion of privacy. And I think, phone companies need to be reliable for that. And suable for that. What else? Like I said, I do not like trackers. I think trackers should be illegal in the United States of America. Completely illegal. I think they should not be accepted here, regardless of what people say or what the government tries to say. Because that's also anti-American to me. That's invasion of privacy to me. What else? Oh yeah, people do not have the right to record you without your permission. And if they do, that should be suable as well. Or at least jail time. 5 years max. I don't care if you're recording a police officer without their consent, or a judge, or whatever. If you're recording something without somebody's consent, then I believe, you should, well, it depends on the situation. If you're recording something and let's say it's like a crime, that's a little different if you're using that for evidence. But at the same time, I'm saying, like, somebody just goes to the park and meets somebody and they're dating someone and they record it. And because you don't like that person and you did it with somebody without that person's permission, obviously, yeah, I think they have the right to sue you. Because you violated their freedom of privacy. And I don't care if you're a family member. I think that should be 5 years maximum security. You get 5 years in maximum security for that. Because you invaded somebody else's privacy. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. What else? Oh, the biggest reason, okay, I don't like, the Democratic or Republican Party is because, they don't really go for, they basically silence all the other parties, like the Green Party, the real Communist Party, trying to think what else, the Tea Party, they silence all of that. And the right does the same thing as well. Silencing people that disagree with them as well. Well, even though I don't like the people on the far right, they have the right to speak their opinions as well and not be censored for their opinions. Because otherwise, how are things going to get better? But the same thing, here's what I think. I think also too, nobody has the right to listen. No government or anybody, even in your family, doesn't have the right to tell you who you marry to, how many sexual partners you can and cannot have, what you can do for a living. Okay? Okay. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want for a living. Also, you have the freedom to marry as many men or women as you want, and live in the same house. Basically polygamy. I believe that as well. What else? Or if you can do monogamy too if you want. Again, your choice. It's called freedom of choice in this country. Something that people used to know what that meant and used to fight for. Before they went insane. And, talking about, stupid things like, hey, white students go here, black students go there. Segregationist talk. Anybody that has that type of segregationist talk, you protest. You protest their businesses, you protest everywhere. Do not perform for those people. Do not do none of that because, to me, that's also anti-American. People that are segregationists, even though I'll let them speak, to me, you're an anti-American. I'm not listening to a no segregationist. No, because you people are full of hatred and denial. No, and I don't talk to people that are full of hatred. No, I don't talk to people like that. You know what I mean? Same thing. If you want to, same thing with freedom of religion. Listen, even though I don't agree with religion, people that are religious do have the right to say their opinions, make their own shows, businesses, all that stuff. Whether they're Christian, Jew, or Muslim. Even if it's non-mainstream religion, like Satanists or whatever, they should also be allowed to do that as well. Say their opinions, what they believe. Or the Book of Mormon or whatever. Jehovah's Witness or whatever. Now, honestly, it doesn't take a person with a lot of brain power to realize, all that religious nonsense is nonsense, but people have the right to essentially believe whatever they want to believe. It makes them feel better. Why not? It doesn't make it realistic, but why not? We have people now that believe that the Earth is flat. Obviously, it's not true. Obviously, because it doesn't take somebody with a lot of brain power to figure out the Earth is round. It's it really doesn't take somebody with a lot of brain power to realize God does not exist. You can literally prove that God does not exist. It really doesn't take that much. But, it is what it is. Sadly, you know. Like I said, sadly, you know, we're living in a world of idiocracy. So, it is what it is.